Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome. My name is Dr. Osama and I'm lecturer at UF Sub Campus Purewala. Today my topic of presentation is mitigation of tomato water stress via seed priming and foliar application of osmoprotectant. According to Global Climate Risk Index of 2020, Pakistan is ranked 5th in the world's most affected countries by the climate change. We are already far below the standard line of 1000 cubic meter per capita. And we are expected to reach to the absolute scarcity line, which is 500 cubic meter per capita in 2025. Tomato is an important crop of the country. It is widely used in cooking salads, soup, jams, jellies, and ketchup. Due to its perishability, the tomato is severely affected by the drought stress. Keeping in view the importance of the crop and the country water availability scenario, we should prepare ourselves for the upcoming drought situation. Current study was an effort to mitigate water stress in tomato crop using three osmoprotectants: pyrrolene, glycine, betaine, and ascorbic acid. Effectiveness of seed priming and foliar application was tested in the current experiment, and the experiment was composed of two different studies. In the first study, seed priming trials were conducted. Initially, we optimized the dose of these osmoprotectants, and later on, the duration was optimized for these chemicals. On the basis of the results of first study, second study was conducted in which foliar application at 2-leaf, 4-leaf, and flowering stage was tested. Okay, seeds of tomato variety Rio Grande were used in current experiment, and the chemicals like pyrrolene, ascorbic acid, and glycine betaine was also obtained from UF Subcampus Burewala. These are the details of the study. As you can see here, there are three experiments which have been conducted to fine tune the priming duration and dose. All experiments are conducted in CRD with three applications. Glass petri plates of 9 centimeter diameter were used. 15 seeds per petri plates were sown, and then they are considered an experimental unit. Water stress was imposed by using PEG, by dissolving PEG in water. It was 10% solution of PEG, which gave water stress of about 0.6 megapascal. The parameters which were studied were energy of germination, final germination percentage, speed of germination, germination rate index, root length, shoot length, fresh weight, dry weight, seedling dry matter, and vigor index. Now let's talk about the experiment itself. First experiment was conducted with 24-hour priming duration, and these were the doses of chemicals which we tested. Based on the results of these chemicals, we found that glycine betaine 1 millimolar was the best dose, followed by we also found significant results for 5 millimolar, but the results were slightly lower for 5 millimolar as compared to 1 millimolar. Ascorbic acid gave us clear results at 100 ppm, 50 and 150 showed very bad results, and pyrrolene showed results between 1 millimolar and 5 millimolar, very significant. Based on the results of first experiment, we designed our second experiment in which we tested 24-hour duration with these chemical doses. Here the same experiment was also repeated in 12-hour duration also. Based on these two experimental results, we found that glycine betaine 3 millimolar is the best dose, followed by ascorbic acid 100 ppm, and similarly the pyrrolene 0.1 millimolar showed the best results for all these treatments. These are the results of last two experiments in which we fine-tuned our doses, and only the duration was kept constant. Here you can see that for glycine betaine there is an increasing trend as the dose increases to 3 millimolar. We have already tested 5 millimolar dose and that was not effective. Therefore, we are assuming that this is the sweet spot for glycine betaine. For ascorbic acid, you can clearly see that 100 ppm is showing better results, and for pyrrolene, we also found that 0.1 millimolar is the best dose for all these chemicals. PEG showed minimum response for energy of germination. Same is true for 12-hour duration. The same trend can be observed here also. You can see that 0.1 millimolar pyrrolene is best, and the least results were observed in PEG solution. In short, we may say that pyrrolene 0.1 millimole is best dose, followed by ascorbic acid 100 ppm, and then glycine betaine 3 millimole. In case of final germination percentage, same trend repeats itself. As you can see that the same trend is there, but the interesting fact is that if we compare the result of 24-hour and 12-hour duration, we can see that the 12-hour is slightly better. Here you can see the average response of treatment is almost 50% or more germination percentage is observed, while in case of 24-hour duration, the average response of treatment is little bit suppressed. As you can also see here that the lower dose of Paroline like 0.05 millimole in 12-hour duration is effective, significant. It also contains letter A, while the 24-hour duration dose of Paroline 0.05 millimole is slightly lower. On the basis of these results, we may say that 12-hour priming duration is best for tomato crop. To further strengthen our argument, here are other parameter results like speed of germination. You can see the same trend here. Paroline is performing very well at 0.1 millimole. Same is for 12-hour duration. Here are the results of growth rate index, and you can see Paroline is still the best results for root length as well as for shoot length. Both cases showed the same pattern. For fresh weight, you can see again the Paroline 0.1 millimole as best treatment. And same is true for dry weight. However, we found dry matter content as non-significant parameter. So here are the significant parameters which we have observed. Almost all parameters showed significant results except dry matter content percentage. In short, we may say that 0.1 millimole Paroline is the best for boosting all the seed quality attributes, followed by 100 ppm ascorbic acid and 3 millimole glycine betaine. 12-hour priming is much better as compared to 24-hour priming in case of tomato crop. In the second part of the study, we studied the effect of foliar application of osmoprotectants on the growth and yield of tomato under drought stress. The experiment was conducted in RCBD with 3 replications, and the plants were subjected to 50% water stress by delaying the duration of irrigation among consecutive irrigations compared to the control plants. The parameters which we studied in the second experiment were plant height, number of leaves, internode distance, stem diameter, average fruit weight, average fruits per plant, average yield per plant, juice, TSS, seeds per fruit, fruit color, and fruit taste. I will discuss only the important parameters in front of you instead of discussing every parameter. These are the details of the treatment. Here, what we did is we took the most effective doses from our first experiment, which was glycine betaine 3 millimolar, ascorbic acid 100 ppm, and Paroline 0.1 millimole, and we sprayed them. Foliar application was done on 2-leaf stage, 4-leaf stage, or flowering stage, singly or in combination like 2 and 4-leaf stage, 2 and flowering, 4 and flowering, or on all growth stages like 2, 4 and flowering. And we repeat this for all these chemicals. We also use a control with water stress 50% and a control with unstressed plants to see or compare the results. Here are the results of second study, and here we can see that the data recorded at the time of flowering, actually after spray of foliar application. Here we can see the maximum value was observed in Paroline when sprayed at 2 plus 4 leaf stage. That is due to maybe the foliar application spray is not effective at that time. But later on, when we record the data at the time of final harvest, we observe that the maximum value is shifted to the plants which were sprayed with 2 plus 4 plus flowering stage. Overall, if we look on this data, we can see that the average response of glycine betaine is about 15 number of leaves per plant for all these treatments, whether it is applied on single stage or multiple stage. In case of ascorbic acid, the average response is above 15. It is around about 18 number of leaves per plant. In case of Paroline, the response is further boosted and it goes to about 20 leaves or more than that. Overall, we may say that the Paroline is the winner. Whether it is applied on single stage or multiple stage, it gives more boost to the plant. The result of internodal distance is almost non-significant for all these treatments. Here you can see that glycine, betaine, ascorbic acid, or Paroline all share almost the same letter A. However, in case of drought plants which are already stressed and have not applied with foliar application, the effect is evident, and here you can see that the internodal distance is shortened and the plants were also very short statured. Paroline and ascorbic acid, these two chemicals showed very good results for boosting average fruit weight as well as average number of fruits per plant, as you can see the lettering here. However, the best results were observed in Paroline, although a little bit higher results were also observed in ascorbic acid, but the lettering showed that the results of Paroline are more consistent. Here again we can see the result that Paroline and ascorbic acid both increase the average fruit yield per plant. The maximum was observed, of course, in Paroline sprayed at 2, 4, and flowering stage. But we can still see the peak here also in ascorbic acid 2, 4, and flowering was also equally effective in boosting the fruit yield per plant. Juice contents also showed the same story. Average juice contents and average number of seeds per plant. The foliar application treatments showed better results. Almost all have better juice content. The minimum was observed in drought plants and the highest was in Paroline, although the result was non-significant among other treatment means. These are organoleptic analyses performed in horticulture laboratory of UF subcampus Burewala on the fruit color and fruit taste of the plants of tomato. The participants rated more for these treatments, and here you can see all these treatments share the same letters and they have better fruit color and better fruit taste. Interestingly, ascorbic acid as well as Paroline both are very effective in boosting the fruit quality overall. However, the glycine betaine, when applied on single stage, didn't perform any well. In multiple stages, they showed some better results, somewhat better results. The drought, of course, as evident from the data, showed least response in these parameters. After concluding all these experiments, we may conclude that Foroline 0.1 millimole foliar application was found very effective in boosting almost all the growth attributes, followed by the ascorbic acid 100 ppm. Multi-stage spray is very effective in boosting the fruit quality and growth of the plant compared to single-stage spray, as evident from the data. Thank you very much for listening this presentation. I know it's a little bit boring, but that's the reason why I put this tomato for you to put some smile on your face after this presentation ends. Thank you very much.